Welcome to sixth grade math. That was your homework that was due in Google Classroom. Get ready for the lesson. The price of movie tickets from 5 different theaters are shown in the table to the right. Round each price to the nearest dollar. Movie Max, $9. Star Theater, $8. Movie Mania, $6. Dollar Theater, $2. And Cinemark, $10. How did you decide how to round each number? Use the rules for rounding whole numbers, but look at the digit in the tenths place to decide whether to round up or down. Make a conjecture about how to round each price to the nearest dime. Look at the penny or the hundredth place and follow the rules for rounding numbers. If it was 5 or higher, go up. If it was lower than 5, go down. You can round decimals just as you round whole numbers. Rounding decimals. To round a decimal, first underline the digit to be rounded. Then look at the digit to the right of the place being rounded. If the digit is 4 or less, the underlined digit remains the same. If the digit is 5 or greater, add 1 to the underlined digit. After rounding, drop all digits after the underlined digit. Examples, round decimals. Round 1.324 to the nearest whole number. So we have 1.324, and we're going to underline a digit to be rounded. So we're going to round 1. We're either going to keep it at 1 or we're going to round it up. And since 3 is less than 5, the digit 1 remains the same. So 3 is a digit to the right of the digit we're rounding. It's 4 or less, so 1 stays the same. If we look on the number line, 1.3 is closer to 1.0 than to 2.0. To the nearest whole number, 1.324 rounds to 1. So I like the visual of a number line to show us which one it's closer to. Round 99.96 to the nearest tenth. 99.96, we're going to round to the nearest tenth, so that's the 9. So now we have to look at the digit to the right, and if it's 5 or greater, we're going to round up. On the number line, 99.96 is closer to 100 than to 99.9. To the nearest tenth, 99.96 rounds to 100.0. Scaffolding questions. Who can name a decimal that is between 1.0 and 1.5? So sample answer is 1.2. Who can name a decimal that is between 1.5 and 2.0? Sample answer, 1.6. Is 1.6 closer to 1.0 or 2.0? The distance between 1.6 and 2.0 is less than the distance between 1.6 and 1.0. Check your progress. Round each decimal to the indicated place value position. A, 13.419 to the hundredths. So the hundredths is the 1. And if we look at the 9, that's 5 or greater, so we're going to round up to 13.42. 0.27838 to the 10,000ths. So that would be the 3. And if we look at the digit to the right of the 3, that's an 8. So that's 5 or greater. So we're going to round that up to 0.2784. Real world example. So Jimmy Carter, he's a Christian, a peanut farmer, 39th president of the United States. 76th governor of Georgia. Went to the U.S. Naval Academy, served on a submarine, opposed racial segregation, 2002 Nobel Peace Prize. So what matters here is he was a peanut farmer. On average, U.S. farmers receive 0.179 for each pound of peanuts they produce in 2006. To the nearest cent, how much did U.S. farmers receive for each pound of peanuts produced in 2006? So we have to take $0.179, right? Because it's a fraction of a dollar, and we have to round it up because we don't have coin that goes beyond the hundredth, right? Penny's the smallest coin we have, and that's in the hundredths, and this is in the thousands. So there are 100 cents in a dollar. So rounding to the nearest cent means round to the nearest hundredth. So 0.179. Underline the digit to be rounded, the 7 in the hundredths, and the 9 is 5 or greater, so we're going to round to the nearest cent. The average price is 18 cents. Pasta, a box of uncooked spaghetti costs 0.1369 per ounce. How much is this to the nearest cent? So we know that the nearest cent is the hundredths place, so it's a 3. And if we look to the right of that, 6 is greater than 5. So we are going to round up to 14 cents. Animals, an Arabian camel averages 3.45 meters tall, round 3.5 meters to the nearest meter. So 3 is the meter, and the next number to the right is 4, which is less than 5. So we're going to round down to 3 meters. Additional examples, round each decimal to the indicated place value. Round 7.601 to the nearest whole number. So the whole number is 7. The number to the right of that is 6. That's 5 or greater. So we're going to round up to 8. Round 68.94 to the nearest tenth. So the tenth is 9. The number to the right of that, 4 in the hundredth place, is less than 5. So we're going to stay the same. 68.9. An ounce of black beans costs 0.0726 per ounce. The nearest cent, how much does an ounce of beans cost? So remember, a cent is a hundredth. So we're going to go to the 7. We're going to look at the number to the right, and that's a 2. So we're going to keep that at 0.07 or 7 cents. Real world example. When rounding in real world situations, you can't always round down, even if that's what you would do in a math problem. For example, to get to a football game at a neighboring town, 185 members of the high school marching band must travel by bus. Each bus holds 40 students. How many buses does this marching band need? How can you calculate how many buses are needed? Divide the number of students by the number of students each bus can carry. So we have 185 divided by 40 equals 4.625. So we need 4.625 buses. Can you have 6.25 or 62.5% of a bus? No. To determine a reasonable answer to this problem, would you round up or down? If I round down, what's going to happen versus if I round up? So I round up here, and it would take 5 buses to carry the entire marching band. I clearly can't have 62.5% of a bus, right? And if I round down, well, then I'm going to have a bunch of students that don't have a ride to the game. So this is one of those situations where you can't stay the same and you have to round up. And that would be the same. Let's say this problem, the answer was 4.425 and it's below 5, right? The 4 in the tens place. You would still have to round up because you can't leave kids behind. All right, here is your homework. Go to Google Classrooms, please, and turn it in. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.